Good morning, folks. It is Monday, November the 14th. We've got mining stocks on sale and want to make sure that you're aware of these opportunities. Let's start with, this is GDXJ in the monthly time frame. We looked at this yesterday. We've got price finding support along the bottom of this upward sloping channel, and then a strong move working this month. Momentum based on MACD histogram is moving back up, and energy is rising. So nice action in the mining stocks in the monthly. Here in the weekly, we can see we had a nice strong week last week, pushing up into resistance at this horizontal zone and the 40-day or 40-week, moving average. MACD coming up off a very oversold level. We've got a fresh buy signal in the last couple of weeks, and energy is very elevated. So again, nice action in the weekly time frame. We might expect a little bit of a reaction, some resistance at the 40-week moving average, which is coincident with this support resistance zone and the upper median line of this modified shift pitchfork. So here's GDXJ in the daily. Obviously a strong run last week on Thursday and Friday, bumped into resistance from this prior high. More resistance just overhead with the horizontal support resistance zone and then the 200-day moving average. MACD in bull mode on a buy signal, energy very elevated. And so anyway, this is some of the best action we've seen in the mining stocks for a number of months. This is Bob Moriarty's site, 321 Gold. Highly recommend this as a resource if you're not already following it. There's been two articles recently that I want to bring your attention to. The first one is this pitching pennies for dollars, and in this article Bob lists 10 mining stocks, and he's talking about, in this article, he's talking about one of the strategies that he uses. This is also published in one or both of his resource investing books. Basically, it's buying the cheap stocks and selling them when they're not cheap anymore. And of course, one of the challenges with these penny stocks is, you buy a stock at 2 cents and it runs to 20 cents and you don't sell, you don't take any profits. I'm speaking for myself. I've done it numerous times because you're thinking, oh, this one's going to $3 or $5 or whatever, and then it trickles back down to 2 cents. You're back where you started or worse. And so anyway, that's part of Bob's strategy, is that you can buy these cheap stocks, but you got to sell them when they're not cheap anymore. And so take a look at this article. We're going to spin through the charts of those 10 stocks. That's what we're working up to. This is another article that was published last week. It's another good article. Bob's talking about his strategy again, saying it's time to buy. Mining stocks have bottomed, according to Bob, and you buy them cheap and you sell them when they're not cheap. So another good article I recommend looking at. Let's jump into the stocks. This is Aben Resources, however you pronounce that, Aben. What I look for in these penny stocks is I want to see that investors are accumulating them. And so here we can see in the accumulation distribution indicator that this stock is being accumulated. MACD has risen out of bear mode back up into bull mode, full-on bull mode at this point, and on a buy signal, energy is elevated. And so this is one of the stocks. I've got bids. I've got a bid in on Aben today for the market open. And let's look on all of these stocks. Just go look at the investor presentation, and you will find that all but one of them is in a tier 1 location. I was quite surprised and pleased when I started looking at this list of stocks. Most of them are in Canada. There's at least one that's in the United States. I think there's more than one that's in the United States. And so anyway, these are not trash stocks by any means. These are good stocks. They've just been beaten down over the recent months. Red Lake, Ontario. So this is one in Canada. And the Red Lake district is a known mining district. This isn't moose pasture. This isn't a wild stock out in moose pasture somewhere. This is a tier 1 stock. And you can see, let's go to the weekly time frame. It's just been beaten down because the precious metals market has been so soft in recent months that the stocks have just trickled down to pennies. And so anyway, recommend taking a look at that one. Bayhorse Silver, very similar. It has not been under the same amount of accumulation as ABIN, but we can see that in the last week, investors have taken an interest in this stock. We can also see that in the volume spikes that's probably Tuesday and Friday, some nice volume. Energy is elevated, MACD in bull mode on a fresh buy signal. And so this is another one I've got a bid in for the open today. And see, again, this stock was at a quarter. It was trading at a quarter, and it's trickled down to 4.5 cents just because the precious metals market has been so soft. So, and this is another one. Go look at the investor presentation, and we'll find this one, Idaho. So here's a silver mine in Idaho. Avidian Gold. Nice accumulation distribution. Investors are accumulating this stock. MACD is on a fresh buy signal, has not made it back up into bull mode yet. Energy is very elevated. I just had breakfast. Nice price action last week. I've got a bid in on Avidian for the open today. Let's go to the weekly, and again, just another stock. It was trading at almost 40 cents and has trickled down to a tenth of that. So it's lost 90% of its value in the last year just because of weak action in precious metals. More about Avidian. This is Bond Resources. Now Bob's got this on his list. This is not one that I'm betting on, and specifically because of the action in the accumulation distribution. So for whatever reason, investors last week decided to divest themselves of this stock, and I haven't done any research to understand why that is. And so I'm not betting on Bond. Here's their presentation. Let's see if we can, where is this thing? 450 acres, USA. So it's in Idaho. And so again, tier 1 location, but for whatever reason, investors are not as excited about this one as some of the others. And we can see here in the weekly time frame, just a big spike of selling volume last week. Bob actually commented on that after he published this article listing these 10 stocks, that some investors took that as a indication that they needed to sell. And so that's maybe what we're seeing in Bond. Here's Winston Gold Corp. Nice accumulation. Investors like this one. Nice price action on Friday. got a strong move higher. It's 2.5 cents. So big move. It's all the way up to 2.5 cents. MACD almost full into bull mode on a buy signal. Energy very elevated. So again, nice action in Winston. I bought Winston on Friday, so some of that volume is me on Friday. Montana. So this is an interesting mine. It's a producing mine. They're saying Montana's only producing underground gold mine. So it's a small mine, but it is a producer. They have their own mill. I think it's 150 tons per day, which again is a small mill. But very interesting stock at 2.5 cents. So Casigo, investors are not, based on accumulation distribution, not excited about this stock. Energy is elevated. Let's see, why don't I have MACD on there? There it is. So MACD in right at the 0 level of the indicator. Looks like we might have gotten a fresh buy signal on Friday. But anyway, nothing exciting in Casigo. Just a beat down stock. And so anyway, this is not one that I'll be certainly not bidding on it at this point. We'll see in the future. Oh, and so this is our one stock that is not in either Canada or the United States. So we're in Colombia. Just because of the overall picture of mining stocks and inflation and the world's financial situation right now, I'm being very selective in the mining stocks that I'm purchasing and holding. And so I'm not buying stocks in South America. It would have to be an exceptional story, and I believe that Quentin Henney would have to be involved as an advisor for me to be interested in any mining stock that's not in a tier 1 jurisdiction. Here's Independence Gold Corp. Again, based on accumulation distribution, investors are not accumulating this one. Selling on Friday, although gapped higher. So gapped higher probably on the open on Friday and then sold off during the day. So not a great picture. MACD on a fresh buy signal, not quite into bull mode. Energy very elevated. Let's look at the weekly time frame. Again, just a beat down stock. It was at almost 20 cents, beat down to a nickel. So I have not bid on Independence Gold. I'll do some more research and see if it's something that I want to be involved with. I've not spent a lot of time researching each of these stocks. Basically, I'm going on Bob's strategy of buying cheap stocks and selling them when they're not cheap. And like I said, I was pleased that in my initial cursory looking to find that most of these stocks are in tier 1 locations. So Kessel Run, Bob recommended it. He wrote this article back here. The stock was trading at about 2.5, 3 cents. They announced some positive drill results and got a pop from those results and from Bob's article. And so, a nice pop in the price action. Got a pop up last week in investor interest, and then that rolled off on Friday. So one of the things that's happening right now in precious metals market is that we've had such a big run in both silver and gold. Gold has run $150, $175 in the last 2 weeks. And so we're getting a pause right now in silver and gold. And so the stocks are probably going to pause along with the metals. And of course that's opportunity. If you're buying mining stocks, it's an opportunity to get some of these stocks before they become more expensive, more investors buying them. So nice bump in volume in Kessel Run. I bought Kessel Run on Friday, and I've got I'm calling it a stink bid. Anyway, I've got a low ball bid on Kessel Run today in case it pulls back some. Bob's expecting, he wrote a follow-up article specifically about Kessel Run. You can find it on his website. He's expecting some more good drill results from this company in the next few weeks. If you look at their presentation, Ontario, so again, another Tier 1 jurisdiction. Maritime Resources, flat on the accumulation distribution. MACD, not quite into bull mode. Actually, it's a little bit below the zero level of the indicator. Energy is about mid-range. So investors have yet to take an interest in this stock. I have not bid on it. Another one, you can see it was trading at 22 cents, 21 cents, and has gotten beaten down to a nickel. And we can see that the investors just slowly divested themselves of this stock. For whatever reason, were not interested in holding it over the past year. Let's see, this is their presentation, Maritime, I forget. Oh, and one of the things, that's a lot of shares outstanding. I'm a little bit leery of companies that have that many shares outstanding, and that may be part of why investors have yet to take an interest in it. You can see here that Sprott's Sprott's involved. This analyst has a target at 24 cents. Another analyst with a target at 20 cents. Gold Resources involved. Let's see. Yeah. So anyway, they've got more shares outstanding than I'm really interested in. So, but I will take a closer look at that company. Tomville Mines. This one I got really excited. I had looked at 9 other stocks, and all but one of them were in Tier 1 jurisdictions. And then I looked at this one and found that not only is it a Tier 1, I think this one's in Canada. It's got Quentin Henney as a technical advisor. And anytime Quentin is involved, Quentin knows how to find gold. Let me just put it that way. So if Quentin's involved, I'm interested. So I bought Tomville on Friday. And we can see here in the accumulation distribution that investors taking an interest in it. Nice spike in volume on both. That was probably a week ago, and then that was Friday. So energy very elevated, MACD in bear mode but rising and on a fresh buy signal. You can look at their presentation. And I'm actually, after talking about Tomville, I'm probably going to put a stink bid in and buy some more Tomville today, or put a bid in. I don't know if it'll get filled or not. I'm not chasing these stocks, and so you see the bid and the ask, and on these penny stocks, there's pretty wide spread on bid and ask. But I find my strategy typically on these is that I'll put a good till cancel bid just a little bit over the bid price, and so basically I'm the high bidder by a little bit, and just let my order sit, and so I did that on Friday and got filled on all 3 of the stocks that I was bidding on. So anyway. Wanted you to be aware of these articles, this article in particular from Bob, and then this article as well from Bob, both on his website in the last week. I will talk to you soon, folks.